Recently at Photokina, the manufacturers showed off their brand new releases. Hi, I'm Matt Grayson, and today ePhotozine TV is looking at the Canon EOS 50D, their brand new mid-range digital SLR. New features include a higher 15mm pixel resolution, Digic 4 processor, expandable sensitivity to ISO 12800 and a rework of the menu system. Noise control is good on the EOS 50D, with noise only really starting to be noticeable at ISO 800. It's not until ISO 3200 that it begins to be a problem. And here it is, the Canon EOS 50D. It's fitted with the 17-85 standard lens, which is image stabilised, and also USM, which is the ultrasonic motor which Canon helped pioneer back in the mid-80s to give faster focusing to their lenses. And this is the EFS model, which means it's only compatible with EFS digital SLRs. The EOS 50D does take EF and EFS lenses, so you don't have to worry about just getting one particular type of lens. It just means that if you've got a film backup or a top-end digital SLR, you'll be able to use this lens, be able to take advantage of the 17mm wide angle, and with the top end one you'd get yourself a cheap image stabilising lens, and they obviously want to protect their investment. Moving on to the back of the camera, you'll see a slight change to the layout, as we mentioned previously, in the way that some of the buttons along the bottom have been changed, but there's also now a dedicated live view button right there as well. Now, just activating the rear screen by hitting the control button halfway down, the shutter release, you'll see that the layout is a lot newer, a lot nicer, clearer, much more modern. Right here it'll show your shutter speed and aperture when you're in the act of focusing and getting your image ready. You've got your ISO range there, your exposure compensation, which mode you're in. When the camera is actually activated by pressing halfway down, you can use your navigation pad here as well to change the focus point of the camera, which is a good little touch. The picture style that you're in, which is by using this button down here, your white balance and metering, image size, the focus mode you're in, and your drive and your battery life, and how many pictures you've got left on your card. Now, when you're in other modes, such as the portrait mode on the top here, this will also, you can press this button, the center navigation button, and it'll highlight on the different areas that you can actually change. So because this is one of the program modes and everything's pretty much done for you, all you can change on this is the resolution and the drive from single to continuous shooting. Now, you will notice an addition of a new feature, which is CA. Now it's like having program mode but not as good. It's like a clipped version of program mode. It's called custom auto, and you can change more stuff on it that you'd be able to do in auto, but not as much stuff as what you'd be able to change in program. And you've got your picture styles there, which you can change here. You've got an easier version of changing the aperture and shutter speed, so you can change the exposure darker to brighter by just moving these up and down. Say OK, and you use your wheel then to move them up or down. What it basically does is it manipulates the aperture to, for instance, make the background more blurred or to make the image darker. So it's not actually doing anything special other than just arranging everything as it should do. It just saves you having to learn about it for the time being if it's not really what you want to do. Okay, so we've come to the house, which is a skate park in Sheffield, indoor skate park. We're going to take some pictures of the guys doing some skating here. We're going to be using, it's indoors, so we're going to be having to push the ISO up. Also use a fast shutter speed, and we'll see how the noise images come out at high ISO. I can say that the EOS 50D has 6.3 frames per second. Now, that's only with a UDMA enabled card. I've got one in here at the moment, which is the Lexar 300x one. There are others available, some as fast, some not as fast. So it doesn't specify exactly which card it is with. So it's best just to stick your card in, see what you can get, but bear in mind that it might not be as fast as what Canon are saying. While I used the camera, I got some really nice results from it. The high resolution ensures that you can blow your images up really well and also crop into them without losing too much detail. The high ISO means that you can get much faster shutter speeds in much duller situations. The screen on the back ensures that when you're monitoring images and looking at them playback, you're going to get crisper, clearer images, so you know that you're going to get the shot that you want. One thing I would say is that if you're a current 40D owner, you're going to really enjoy using the camera. So give it a try, and it's certainly one to look for if you're thinking of upgrading soon. One thing I would advise you, if this is your first camera and this is going to be the only lens that you've got in your arsenal to start with, get another lens as soon as possible. While this one is great because it's got the ultrasonic motor, which is faster and quieter, it's got built-in image stabilizer for getting much steadier images, and it's also got a metal mount to ensure longevity. It suffers really bad from chromatic aberration or purple fringing, which is a thin purple line that you get on contrasting edges. Take a look at it yourself so you can see what we've done. I've put a sample image of it on ephotozine.com on the full written review, so make sure you go and take a look at that as well. But yeah, definitely get a different lens. But other than that, this is a sterling camera.